Can you imagine two sisters having the same favorite story? It's not possible.
Not possible.
We always had 5.
Okay. I read everything basically. I read about witches, warlocks, werewolves, everything.
Akbar Birbal.
Yeah, I would have to be Akbar Birbal. That would be our favorite bedtime story.
I basically get Kajol reads everything, so I just get her to read everything, and then I just go to her and I'm like, baby, just tell me what the good books were and tell me what the boring ones were, because I'm not reading the boring ones.
He reads a lot of recommended books. अगर उनको कोई हाथ में दे थमा दे किताब तो जरूर पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि कभी उन्होंने जाके किताब खरीदी होगी खुद के लिए. नहीं. Good evening, everybody. We've come here to launch this wonderful book about Champa, and she's 9 years old. My daughter is 8.5, and I got through this book. I read the first few pages, and finally I put it down. I said, no, I don't want to read this book. I want to know what you think. So I asked Nissa. I said, Nissa, what is this book about? You tell me. I want to know what your opinion is. And she turned around and she told me, Mom, this book is about this girl, and she takes you through the whole year. She takes you through summer, spring, winter, rain, and Baisakhi. I said, okay. I didn't know that you knew about Baisakhi also. She's like, yeah, I actually learned so much just reading from this book, and there's so much. Before I had to stop her then and there because I could have gone on for another 45 minutes. That's besides the point. But it was wonderful to see how much she just picked up the book and she didn't put it down. She read it till like 8:30 in the night, and she started it at 4:30 in the evening, and she finished it that same day. So it's interesting. I know it's interesting, otherwise she would have definitely put it aside. It's educational, and as Mrs. Chandralekha said, it is very, very tough to write a children's book because you are writing to minds that are growing. You are writing to minds that you don't know a lot about, and you're writing to people like me as well. You're writing to kids and adults. And Champa is that kind of book. It can be read by an adult and by a child. So if I turn around and if I read it to my daughter, or if I read it to my son who's going to grow up and want to know about books, I hope. So I'm hoping that, yes, it is that kind of book that will appeal to everybody. Every 9-year-old child, 90-year-old grandmother, and every 35, 36-year-old mother as well. Thank you.
I think it's great. Because, like she said, I love the way your mom said and you said, Ashaji, that, I'm learning as I'm writing this. And I think that's what's so amazing about this children's book, because when I was going through it, I was going through the one where she goes into the Himalayas. Yeah. And I was thinking, wow, it's teaching me geography, it's teaching me, about family values, it's teaching me so many things, and I'm like not a child, I'm like pretty grown up, I know all these things, but there's just, and it's done in the most amazing way. It's a story, and that's what we all do, the profession that we're in. We tell you stories, we make movies so that we can tell you stories, and she's writing these amazing books, and I think it's just amazing. Congratulations, and we're so proud that we're here.
I read fiction. I read to entertain myself. I read books like Champa. I go pick up a lot of teenage fiction. I go pick up a lot of children's books, so I know what I'm talking about when I say that they're very, very hard to do. Harry Potter is a children's book. So, if we're speaking about teenage fiction, that's such an intelligent book and, so well written. I read everything, basically. I read about witches, warlocks, werewolves, everything. Yeah.
Akbar Birbal.
Yeah, it would have to be Akbar Birbal. That would be our favorite bedtime story. Well, my take on Singham is that it's rocking. You must go see it. That's not why I'm here. But as far as his take on books is concerned, he reads a lot of recommended books. अगर उनको कोई हाथ में दे दे थमाने किताब तो जरूर पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि कभी उन्होंने जाके किताब खरीदी होगी खुद के लिए.
I think my sister said it all. Singham is a great film, but we're here for Asha ji and to launch her book. So if you have any questions about that, we'll be happy to answer.
Our childhood was that we didn't have that many books at that point of time. We only had Amar Chitrakatha, which I think I read the whole 300, 400 books of. But at that point in time, we had more. I had my great-grandmother and my grandmother who told us stories. So even Akbar Birbal, we read them, yes, but before we read them, we heard them. She's probably narrated those Akbar Birbal stories, I don't know how many times over. And then she was like, okay, I'm sick of them, let me come up with Champa.
I basically get, Kajol reads everything, so I just get her to read everything, and then I just go to her and I'm like, baby, just tell me what the good books were and tell me what the boring ones were, because I'm not reading the boring ones.
I love books of every kind. I think it takes great talent to write a book. I think it's much tougher than it looks. And I love libraries and I love bookshops. They're my absolute favorite places to go to. I love the smell of books. I love the print. I love everything about them.
Can you imagine two sisters having the same favorite story? It's not possible.
Not possible.
We all have that fight. Okay. It's like a journey. When you read a book, you're going on a journey. I can't say whether like if I travel to Spain or I travel to Italy. I can't tell you which one is my favorite. If I go to Kashmir or I go down south, I can't tell you that, I like the south better. It's a completely different experience every time.